Welcome back. So last time I did say I was going to show you how this valve was assembled here, and my take on why it's leaking. So here's the O-ring. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no nicks on it or anything like that. It's not like falling apart. It doesn't show any signs of color coming off in your hand. So I don't think it's been damaged by the diesel in any way. It looks perfectly new. That goes over the thread there, and then when you screw that into place. Inside the housing here, there's not really what I would call a 90-degree lip for it to sit on. There's a tapered lip there, which basically it goes directly into the start of the thread. So the O-ring itself doesn't really have anything, nice and firm to push up against and compress against. It starts, literally pushing into the thread, and you can actually take the nut with the O-ring on it, and you can tighten it all the way to the stop by hand. Which just tells me that the O-ring isn't even being very well compressed. So I think this is a poor design, and we've done something similar like this before with the redrive, and it just didn't work. So anyway, that's my take on that.
Hey, Merry Christmas to everyone. How you doing? I'm up here with my friend, and we're looking over this brand new ride here that he's put together, and we've got a bet on. He's betting me that this will outrun my sleigh. Now, I just don't think it's going to happen, but I'd like to wish all of y'all a happy Christmas, and just hope the Lord blesses you all and keep you in good health. Now, God bless you, and Merry Christmas to you, and old Santa Claus loves you. And remember, milk and cookies. Merry Christmas. Bye.
As promised, Justin, Elliot, and Mark showed up. And Mark spent most of the day until about 3:30 inspecting the aircraft, and we all came to the final conclusion that the ailerons really weren't going to work with that setup, so that's something I definitely have to change out. But anyway, we decided to get some low-speed taxiing in.
Alright, so we got our 150. Yep. So this is pretty much going to be our go point now. So if you want to just run up, start on the brakes, and then
Charlie Delta, take me active.
You do that first, right? Push hard and then brakes, okay? Because that's just a valve.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So it'll be for your takeoff. It'll be hitting this fuel pump. That's the one that takes it through the intercooler.
Yep.
And then you're ready to roll. Okay. And we'll be watching. First of all, we'll be watching EGTs. For the most we want to see is 1750, and as it gets up to there, you'll want to pull back to 80%. So if we do the same run that I did yesterday, you'll kind of get a feel of what your full power is going to be like, and timing and everything like that. Okay. And then once we come back to 80%, we'll be watching the temps here, and when we get to about 230, 235 on the oil or the coolant, then it's time to come back to idle, because we basically used up all with the heat soak the engine.
Right.
So when you're ready to go, just go and just bring the power in. Just bring it in gently initially. If you bring it in too quick, it'll overspeed past the governor, and you'll shoot right up to 3,800 RPM. Right now, because that green light isn't on, max RPM, the governor is set. It's set to about 3,500 RPM right now. You'll see when it comes in where it stabilizes that.
Okay, and so hitting that button does something different?
That pulls it back to flat pitch.
Oh, good.
And we'll have to talk about whether you even want to do that. I mean, on landing you might want to do that because it would create a lot of drag.
Sure.
But for takeoff and climb out, I think 3,500 RPM is where the maximum torque is, the maximum thrust is, and it generates the least heat as well.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Burns the least amount of fuel. So yeah, all right, you just on with this, and then bring your sail in. And you'll watch over here where the messages are to see if low fuel comes on. But that takes about 2 minutes from what I saw the other day. And you'll feel the nose drop as the thrust comes in. Yep. Just let it there, and the governor will kick in a little more. All right, and then just keep bringing the throttle up. And you see the governor's kicking in more. Keep bringing it up.
Cool.
Right now you're watching EGTs.
Yep. Looking for 17.
When it gets 1750, those lights will come on, set them low just to, hey, you're coming high on boost. The boost is okay to 45, 46, and then, even then it's not a problem. I've got it to 49. So 1600, and when it comes to as a 1730, then you can start pulling it back to about 80%.
Okay. About 17, we'll just start a little early.
Just pull it back to 80% and hold it there. even there, that's fine. Actually, let's try it at 85. So it's coming down.
Oh, so I was looking at this number. Throttle percentage.
No, that's right, 85.
Okay, no, but yeah, it's
What was it
down.
there? Now you're watching this. So we can go as long now until those hit 230.
Okay, it's coming up pretty quick on oil temp, so
Yep.
cool.
And this is all being timed and saved in the log, so we can look at it later.
Perfect. 220.
Yeah, you got 235.
Okay.
And once it gets to 235, then you may as well just pull it all the way back to idle, let it cool down a little bit, and then we'll taxi around. So you got your radio fan on.
Cool.
Yeah, there you go. And now just pull it all the way back. So that's basically your takeoff and climb out profile without any cooling.
Yep.
And you know, these messages I've got set on temperature over 235 on the coolant, and because you pull back the power fairly quickly, I've got this thing, if there's a fluctuation in the high pressure fuel pump that just comes on, then I can turn those off later so they don't pop up because they're kind of annoying.
Yeah, we can turn this off.
Well, see, that hasn't come on yet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
Interesting.
that actually means that the fuel is draining back into the header tank quick enough
Right.
that we haven't even used this much fuel out of the header tank.
Cool.
So and you just hit that acknowledge all anytime that comes up, and it should stop here. Once that temp gets below 235, it should stop.
So do these come up like if we're at high power stuff?
Generally, when you're flying and that, you're not going to get these temps because the cooling's going to happen.
Yeah,
I can turn those off.
Yeah, I'd like that to be not there.
Yeah, I can turn them off because you've got these messages, or these lights coming on anyway.
Exactly. I don't need this. It's just going to be blocking my data.
Yep, I'll turn them off. Don't worry, just let it go until when that comes down below 235, it'll disappear. So you're still watching. This is still running.
Yeah, definitely.
We still haven't hit it. So that may be something we can just leave on.
There it is.
Come on, right?
Yep.
So that means now you've used like this much fuel out of the header.
Cool.
Like about a gallon or so.
And then there's another warning when you get to the second tank level.
Yeah, that's about this much further down, you know.
Right.
It'll take a while to get there. So turn that off. And also too, you asked the other day about this engine information. There's your backup battery voltage there. If you turn that on, it'll show you what volts are on the backup battery.
Got it. Is it charging if it's on?
It's charging even when it's off.
Oh, got it.
You know?
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you got 14 volts over there.
Cool.
And then there's your fuel there, 7 and 10. And the one's reading higher than the other one because I've calibrated that one up to 14, and the other one hasn't been calibrated.
Okay.
And because we've been sucking fuel out of the header tank and pouring it back in there, it had 7 in there now. It's got 3 more over there now, roundabout, you know. So, alright, so we cooled down to 224 now, so this should go away now, and I'll turn that off.
Okay,
Make sure
that
it
makes
doesn't come
sense.
on. And then we can have some fan going on. It's getting a bit warm in here, isn't it? And we can even put the AC on if you want.
Fan should be good enough.
Alright. You can see the ambient temperature 108. That's because that sensor there is right at where the intake is. And all the heat from the engine is just rising up right into it.
That's supposed to be like outside air temperature? Or is that
the ambient one?
Yeah.
As I said, the sensor is right there where the intake is.
Right.
Yeah, it's mainly supposed to be outside air temp, but you do have OAT here as well.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
You know, on your Garmin thing.
Cool.
Actually, let's just make sure we trimmed pretty much all the way nose down.
Security 2 Whiskey Pop, left down.
Pushed in. I don't want to go flying, not when I'm not ready, you know. Alright, so there we've got a guy who looks like he's on some kind of crazy downwind over here. Like he's about to do a tight circle to land here. How are the brakes feeling to you?
Feeling good, yeah. I like the brakes.
And the rudders, generally your rudder controls coming in around about 20 knots.
Okay.
And it's one of those things like, especially when I'm down at that runway down there and you're going uphill, tendencies to want to veer one side or the other. It's like a case of like, push it all away. Come on, baby, I know you're going to get there. You get there. And then, you know, you're starting to veer and then it comes back and you get it. Once you hit about 20 knots, you get pretty good authority, you know.
Makes sense.
But it's a little bit unnerving initially, and sometimes I'm still tapping a brake, you know, bring me around
Sure.
as I'm accelerating, you know. So I guess for this run, just the same way as you did back there. You can bring full power in, but I think for the first run you're only going to go to 40 knots anyway, so you probably don't need full power. Just feel it out for yourself.
Cherokee County traffic. Cherokee 2 Whiskey Pop, clear runway 5. Cherokee County traffic.
Just for our protocols, if anything weird happens, do you want me to take over?
No, I'll be good.
All right, it's your ship then.
My ship.
Cherokee County traffic, experimental True Tango Delta is taking runway 5 will be unless we taxi at Cherokee.
It's the trigger button. Did it broadcast?
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
We'll just key it up and see if you get a TX.
Yep. No traffic coming this way.
You're good.
Traffic coming that way.
No one on downwind. You're good.
Let's go. Roll into it. Power's gone up there. It's 35%. Already sort of kind of effective already. It's 40%. We'll leave it at there.
You got rudders already now for sure.
Yeah, there's 24 knots.
Yeah.
It's 30.
You're not even in the governor yet, so yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. No, I wasn't. There's not going fast.
For this first one, just so you know, let's roll all the way to the end, so you can have a look what it feels like to go all the way to the end of the runway.
Okay.
Because you can see how it's just dropping off down there.
Yeah, right. There's an edge.
And you might end up flying this the first flight thing. You might want to try the other ones too at this speed to see what sort of crosswind correction you get.
Yeah, I don't notice any body roll at 25 at least.
You are feeling it?
No, I didn't see any.
You didn't see it?
But it's pretty slow.
Yeah, there's another exit.
Oh.
Further down.
Copy.
Yeah, you're not even at the 1,000-foot remaining yet. It's down there.
It keeps going.
Yeah, all right. But look at it. You're just like, oh, going down to the canyon. It's that same canyon that the train went off in Back to the Future.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, all right. So now slow down, slow down.
1,000 feet.
Yeah.
26. And it's downhill, so try some brakes. We got nice positive deceleration rate. Oh yeah.
So now you can see when you get down the end here, there's not much of a grass roll out there and you blow off again, right?
Yeah, in either direction, right?
Yeah, pretty much. The other direction, you end up like jumping off the hill onto the little access road.
Yeah.
This one here, you're down in a ravine. You go through those trees.
Jeez.
Yeah, because all this land has been put here.
Right.
They built all this to build all this. Yeah, there was a couple of hills here, but they.
Looks like they got another one going over there.
Oh no, that's the dump.
Okay.
Literally, they built that mountain from scratch with trash.
And Cherokee County traffic, Terminal 2 Tango Delta is clear the active at Cherokee.
Yeah, because there's no one else here. If you want to pull out on this next thing and do a run back the other way, we can do that. There's no wind. Save you taxing all the way.
Right.
Let's just do that. In fact, if you wanted to go from the start, this thing will turn around in the space of the taxiway. Oh, no problem at all. Just get over on the side a little bit there.
Right.
Just stand on the full. Come over a little bit more, and then just no brake on the right. Just
right there.
stand on the brake. Yeah, stand on the brake.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Good. Like doing a little pirouette.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much effort either. I never used to do that until I fixed the geometry on the nose here.
No.
When I had it before, I would do that and you couldn't get it out. You would just
Oh, God. You get stuck in it.
Oh, I did a couple of 720s. Did you ever see the European Vacation where they were going around it? That's what it felt like.
Alright, so let's go back down the other end and do it again.
Yeah, you can go a little quicker this time if you want.
Cherokee County traffic, Terminal 2 Tango Delta is taking runway 23 will be at Las Vegas Taxi Cherokee.
There's no one else on the ADSB here. I haven't heard any other radio calls. So I think
Nobody in file. Can't tell if anybody's coming the other way.
yeah, you can't see. That's why I use this.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody has it, but
Right.
you know, if there's
That's what
someone there,
everybody
you'll
usually
see.
do. Especially this close to
Yeah,
it.
so you'll see what happens here. You see there's a bit of an off-camber going on here,
Oh, sure.
just a little bit to the right. Sometimes it wants to veer that way. Right, there's the governor coming in. About 30 2,500 RPM.
Yeah, there it is. And there's 40.
There's your 1,000-foot mark there. So normally I'm 60 knots here, and there's the windsock.
Yeah, it accelerates pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't think
you're 40.
I don't think that you were into it for full.
No, well, I went to full for like 2 seconds.
Right. Yeah, so if you're 60 knots at that next taxiway down there, where the T marker is, then you can quite happily stop down the end there. So you're gonna, and normally what I do, I start bleeding the speed off early.
Yeah.
How's the aileron feel?
It still didn't notice much.
Yeah.
I was at 40.
And if you want to just freaking wing around here without even pulling off, you can do that. We've got the whole place to ourselves right now.
True.
Yeah, just a little easier on the brakes if you're going to do some more runs.
No, I think that was pretty good for me.
Are you done?
Yeah, I don't go above half VS without being ready to fly.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, as I'm saying, if you want to do more runs even at 40.
Yeah, no, I think at 40 it's, I mean, I guess we could just do it from here. Go back the other way.
Yeah.
Check kind of traffic. Terminal 2 Tango Delta, taxi runway 23 at Cherokee.
Yeah, no reason to get off and then back on.
Yeah. No, when there's no one else around, may as well just use it as much as you want. Do you feel any crosswind correction happening when it does that it wants to yaw a little bit?
No, it's pretty straight.
Push it up the other way again? It's coming up.
Maybe that time I get adverse yaw.
Yeah, you could be, yeah, exactly, adverse yaw that you will put in for crosswind correction.
Just getting it there at 40.
Yeah, and that's what I've felt mostly. I haven't felt a wing lift. There's too much weight back there, you know.
Yeah.
Until I had my little adventure where I was 70 knots and it was just doing it by itself. And that was stop to stop, you know, on the ailerons, you know.
Yeah, so I was doing it the whole way, through the whole acceleration. So at 30 and 35, there was not really any adverse yaw going on, but at 40 you just start getting
40 you start to do it, yeah. Whoa. What was that?
I don't know. Brakes?
Maybe you'd locked the wheel up. I don't know.
I wasn't pushing that hard, it seemed like.
Yeah, well, you were turning pretty tight for still moving that quick. I don't know.
Yeah. Try again.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when you do it again at the other end. Or you want to do it here again?
Yeah, I can do it here again.
Do it on the downhill again.
Give the brakes a chance to cool.
Right, yeah, actually do it down there so in case you break something, we don't have to tow the aircraft so far.
I'm on board with that. It felt like it was coming from the brakes, so.
I'm just trying to feel if there's a bit of vibration right now. It feels like there's some vibration going on. Just pull off to this taxiway up here and I'll jump out and have a quick peek and see if anything looks abnormal.
Sounds good. This one here?
Yeah, just pull off on that one. Let me just feel what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Hold on. Feels alright.
Yeah.
Well, it felt like...
Yeah, there was a little bit of vibration for sure.
That wasn't there before, you know? Yeah, let me just...
it wasn't the hardest I've pushed on the brakes today. The deceleration on that end was definitely higher.
Yeah, but you were in a turn at the time.
Yep, just starting to turn.
Turn that way?
Yeah, I'm just going to come off the taxi straight ahead and turn.
Yeah, alright. I'll jump out and just have a quick peek. Everything looks fine. There was a little bit of a rubber little notch off of that tire in two places, like it had hit something sort of sharp, just sort of taken the edge off of where the tread is in one spot, about this big.
Sure.
Maybe you hit a stone or something,
yeah,
or whatever.
The rudders are pretty effective unless you're, there's no nose wheel steering, right?
No, it's just car steering.
Yeah, unless I'm barely riding the brakes, but.
Now, normally what I do, I just bury my heels in the things like this, and I don't even move the rudder, and I just tap the brake like that.
Got it.
Tap the brake like that. You can get it to do what you want. Actually, because then it takes less energy, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, I got in that same habit of doing what you're doing there. Oh yeah, I don't have noticeable steering, so it's
Well, like a minor plane, above 10 knots, I can usually get just rudder effectiveness.
Right. Which one? What plane is that you're in?
It's called the Tango 2.
Tango,
It's a little lightweight thing.
I
So.
know what that is. The one that they make down in Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, another one. Well, how are you liking the feel of this so far?
It feels good. Like, it drives really good.
Yeah. Well, so, if I can't get it to fly, I'll just drive it around everywhere. My car's pretty much shit. I'll just
there you go.
take the wings off and drive this thing around. I don't think anybody will mind too much. Clear prop.
Yeah, right.
At the supermarket. Clear prop. What did he say?
I didn't hear him.
And Cherokee County traffic. Terminal 2 Tango Delta is taking active runway 5 for let's be taxi at Cherokee County.
Yeah, this time, just so you can feel it, just bring it in like you would do all the way to full throttle and then pull it off when you hit 35 or 40.
Yeah, sounds good.
So you can feel how much it's accelerating, just on the full power run. I've done some run-ups here where I've literally sat here static and run it up to full power and then let it go, but that obviously puts strain on everything.
Yeah. A little fast that time.
Yeah, you can see it went to like 4,000 RPM. 40 knots there. I'm looking at the ground speed, by the way, as well, just because that indicator seems to always be a bit lower,
Oh yeah, you're not at 0, so.
You notice where I've got the static system out, the altitude's not changing at all, so even though it's, vented in the front there, it's not having any effect on it.
Oh yeah.
When I had it out there, you would put the throttle in and you'd start climbing.
Sure, I believe it. Yeah, there's no pressure change yet.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, that's as good as place as any to have it,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of airplanes have pressure in the static system, so.
Yeah, and it's not vented in the cabin.
Well, I mean, it's not any better than
that cabin, Yeah, I think what might have happened back there is that you turned pretty tight on that spot while we're still moving, and that wheel almost doesn't move on the ground when you turn that tight.
Yeah, right.
And that's what might have happened. It might have literally just pivoted on the spot, and that's what caused it to do that little bit of a vibration.
Yeah, makes sense.
Possibly,
I wanted to do well, we already got some pretty good braking, so no need to go back fast and brake hard again.
Yeah, well, the brakes work good until you wear them out, man. They don't work at all.
Cool.
And then this pressure under 30.
Yeah, what's that?
Anytime you pull it back to idle, generally you see the pressure always drop to about 24. I've set it, I set that to 30. This thing, the green line's at 25.
Okay.
But it's fine. That's just always what it does when the oil's hot and it goes back to idle. It's not a warning or a problem or anything like that. You want to take Elliot for a ride? Now that you know how to do it? Or do you want me to take him for a ride?
Yeah, I guess we could jump in here. Keep it running if you...
Yeah, it's not costing us anything for fuel. That's the whole idea of this plane. If we've got the time and we've got the fuel, you want me to just get him to come on board?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
If he's into it.
Yeah. All right.
Want to go down to the... do a little low-speed taxi on the runway there?
Sure. Cherokee traffic. Toronto 2 Tango Delta is taking runway 23 at low-speed taxi at Cherokee.
There was some debate from the outside whether we were hearing a change in the bearing sound.
Oh.
There's like prop noise, engine noise, exhaust noise, but there's like a bearing noise in there.
Huh.
And it seemed like
So based on Mark's evaluation, Justin has agreed to fly the aircraft once this problem with the aileron control flex has been resolved, and there's a couple of other little minor things that I need to address as well. So you can see I'm already started with working on this. I've got the nose gear removed so I can get in here and have access to everything. I'm getting ready to remove the cables there and those pulleys, and I'm going to create some metal hard mounts there, brackets that bolt to the inside of the keel, and they're going to basically be the hard stops for a sleeved cable, the same as what the rudder setup is, that goes all the way out to the straight tips, and that should resolve the problem. So I've ordered all the materials that I need, and I'll be up at Britt's making these brackets and having him weld them up. And once all the materials get in, I'll get this all sorted out, and then hopefully have Justin back here with Elliot in the middle of January. So that's the update for the first half of this week. Thanks again for watching, and tune in again on Saturday.